quick heads up for anyone that's watching this on YouTube. The reason why episode 2 is probably a little choppy is because the hard drive that was storing the original recording is unfortunately dying. So I lost the original recording for episode 2. So I had to use the Patreon video and then edit that in order to create the episode 2 for YouTube. Which meant there was no way I could separate the anime audio and my audio because it was all on one track because it was already exported. So quality is probably a bit messy and everything like that, but like, what can I do? I backed up the entire hard drive the day before it lost data, which just so happened to be I think it was like, I ended up backing it up on Thursday. And then we ended up recording on Friday, or I backed it up on like Saturday and I was editing on Sunday or something. So it was just like one day off. Had I backed it up one day later, everything would have been fine. Well, probably not. Everything would have probably been worse, but you get what I mean. So yeah, is what it is. Cool. All right, let's kick it off with episode 3. Just remembering really quickly where we're at. Quincy's are apparently not the goody Mary Sues that we thought they were. Soul Society might not have been as bad as we thought they were. Entire time we thought they were the genocidal maniacs. Turns out the Quincy's are actually somewhat you know. So yeah, that happened. What happened in episode 2? We met a certain Quincy that reminded us even more of how the Quincy's were, well, very close to our favorite mustache man. And I'm not talking about Stalin. So episode 3 is probably more mustache men in, uniform. It kind of feels like Hellsing Ultimate, to be honest, but it is what it is. I'm genuinely curious, when did they actually write this? Was it after Hellsing Ultimate? Because it's kind of seeming like a lot of anime went into that direction. Question is why? Why would you go there? Music's good. Excuse me, but that's like almost a King Bradley sword. I like it. You know, that precise sword is very difficult to find. Do you know how long I had to look to find one of them? Jesus Christ. They're all curved. There's only 1 or 2 particular models in the last 300 frickin' years with that guard and that design that are not curved. My god, man. Very specific. And yes, the Nazis were one of the people that had that particular design. So whoever chose these costumes clearly did their research. Why would they go in that direction? I don't know. Wait, it's a sword and a bow? What? I'd say they did kind of get the upper hand. You know, it makes me question why the declaration of war. I mean, I get it. You fight with honor, right? You fight with honor. But there must be some reason for that declaration of war. There has to be a reason. Otherwise, they could have just done a stealth attack like they did, but instead of using it as a mechanism to declare war, they could have, I don't know, possibly wiped out a few captains, but they didn't. Which makes me believe that they probably have a plan. Maybe they're trying to lure the captains out of the Soul Society, or maybe that, you know, like, there must be something going on. They're not just gonna be like, alright, we've regrouped. It is time to face them with honor. It's like, no. No. It doesn't strike me like that sort of scenario, you know? So there's definitely going to be something going on. The question is what that something is. Anyway, we're going to find out. I wonder if Daddy knows anything about this. Because, like, he was the one that inherited everything from the grandfather. So that was his pretty much heir and successor, but he also did train the grandson and left him a gift. So the real question is, does the father know anything about this, and how are they involved? You know? It's kind of like one of those things. I mean, like, you can't just be a random Quincy and not know this shit's going on. Didn't he have to, like, break a glove in order to do that? Sternritter. God damn these names. Yeah, of course they're starting now. But I thought they were going to wait for the captains to, at the very least, exit, and then they were going to invade it. But they seem to be invading it after already putting them on guard. Or was the whole point to get Ichigo into Waco Mundo and then cut off the gate so they can attack Soul Society without Ichigo being there to assist? But then wouldn't you have a problem because you've got. What's his name? Oh, I forgot his name. Come on, Kuma. I know it's been a few years. You know the guy I'm talking about. He wears the hat. He wears green. He pretends to be goofy, but he's one of the strongest captains out there. Come on, Kuma. You know his name. Ah! Damn it. It's been too long. I'm struggling with names of characters. But yeah, he can open the gate. Though, last time he'd. Urahara, yes, that's the one. But the last time he opened the gate to the Soul Society, he needed Mayuri's help on the other side. So I don't know if they're synchronized. So there's the thing. That might be the thing. That might be the thing. That might be the thing. Does anyone notice the song "The Principal" on the Precipice of Defeat playing in the background, but it's got a guitar over the top of it? It's playing like really, really softly in the background, and then you've got the guitar on top of it. I like how they're reusing the old songs from the anime that we know, and then just adding to them. It's so nostalgic. But the real question is, does it still come with the limitation of locking your Quincy power after you use it? Because if it doesn't, then it's just a Quincy Bankai. This fucker loves Aizen, you can tell. He's like, nah, I'm not gonna do the finger thing. Fuck it, I'm putting it on my neck. It's like, mate, just go into Bankai already, please. Oh, fuck, they can seal Bankais. See, yeah, there you go. I see what he's doing. I see what you're doing, you tricky bastard. Nani? Uh, I don't remember this guy. Well, that just happened. Why does this feel like an episode of JoJo? This guy comes out with a power that Ichigo can't defeat, so the other people come up with a power that this guy can't defeat. Damn it! Uh-oh, Daddy spent a little too much time in South America. Well, you've got black hair and they've got blonde hair. You've got brown eyes, they've got blue eyes. I know, it sounds really silly in retrospect, doesn't it? Excuse me, motherfuckers! Who the fuck is this? What the shit? No. No. Fuck off. And if you tell me he's like a brother or a cousin, don't you fucking dare. I'm not falling for this shit again. I kind of feel like we're only getting half a story. Because it's like, oh, they're doing this, and if that happens, we're all dead. And it's kind of like, okay, but why are they doing this? It's one of those, you know what I mean? You're getting one side of the story and you're like, uh-huh, but why? How many research rooms does this old man have? And now I'm really curious what Uryu just read in his book. It's probably something the polar opposite. Like, if we don't do this, the place where we live gets entirely destroyed. And the Soul Reapers are like, no, fuck you, Soul Society is more important. Or something like that. I'm really curious to see what he just read. Really? That kind of sounds sus. What do you mean both sides adjust? I thought you just said 5 minutes ago that these guys were causing an imbalance which would destroy the entire human world or soul society or both. How is that like something's being left out here? Wait, so he knew he was alive? Well, this guy's having a bad day. Now, Orihime, whatever you do, don't heal him. Don't heal him. Why would you go close to him? Why would you go close to him? Why would you go close to him? Holy crap. What, he's absorbing all of them? Jesus Christ. Alright, so this has now become Resident Evil. Cool. I can't pronounce that to save my life. Sclavere literally means slavery. Cool. See, I was gonna ask where the hell was Ichigo? You know, he talks a lot about, I told you not to go here without my permission, but he didn't even bother to lock the door. Seriously, how big is this house? Seriously, what was the design choice for this guy? Hi, we want Aizen. Uh-huh. But not Aizen, okay? He's going through a phase. Yeah. And he's dating a vegan girl. Uh-huh. So he needs some piercings, but save the glasses, but dye his hair. It's like... Guys, like... Wouldn't everyone in the whole fucking Soul Society be weirded out by this guy? Come on. We have Aizen at home. Discount Aizen. Fucking... It's just ridiculous. Sixth seat, but like it's an honor to meet him. What the hell? Isn't this entire place built out of reishi? So if one of these Quincy's activates their final form, they can literally absorb this entire city. This is like the worst place in the world to fight them. Literally. Really? Well, that didn't take long. Woof. Jesus. Woof. Oh, of course. Uryu alone almost messed up an entire district back in Soul Society arc. And he pretty much would have one-shotted Mayuri had he actually landed it. He took a big chunk of his body out. He just didn't land a precise hit. Kuma, be like another blue ball cliffhanger. It just keeps happening at this point. It's the biggest pain of watching things as they come out. If we were watching this on Monday, we'd watch like 6 to 8 episodes in 3 to 4 hours. Instead, we get like 20 minutes every week. Jesus. Just making sure. Did you read the manga? No, this is completely blind. Blind equals blind. Kill the shadow. Oh, okay. How much do you want to bet it's going to turn out that these two were like chums back in the day? That they were friends or buddies or something like that. And then something happened and then these two bastards, you know, had this rivalry, but they couldn't kill each other because reasons. And because they couldn't kill each other, all this shit happens. Damn it, you old bastards, why couldn't you just finish each other off? Who's your favorite Gote and Espada member? For Soul Society, it's definitely Kenpachi. He is just the most entertaining man to watch. He is just pure entertainment and violence. When it comes to Espada, ooh, see, Grimjow was fun, but then he disappeared. He just disappeared. It was like, I'm there and I'm gone. So after that, it was kind of like, where's Grimjow? And yeah, it's like Grimjow was fun. Like he was the poster child for the Espada for the whole beginning of the Arrancar arc, because you know he was like the big baddie for that. And then after he had his one-on-one with Ichigo, he just got flung out of the way. And then it was, I think, Noitora, and then it was Ukiura. And then after Ukiura, it was Aizen. So, like, after Grimjow, the power levels just exploded, you know? I like Espada number 1. He was all relaxed. He was the guy with the 2 guns, wasn't he? He had to separate himself into multiple beings because he kept, like, literally killing everything around him from how powerful he was. He was a chill dude. Like, I actually like... if I remember correctly, he didn't even want to fight people. He was like, I just want to chill with everyone. But we gotta, otherwise, you know. I think he was like the chillest dude of them all. He was just going along for the ride. He wasn't violent or anything. He just wanted to have friends. And then somehow ended up in Aizen's little entourage. Ukiura was the hangout for the Espada. He was also, I think, the only Espada with a second release. So he had something really unique about him, which opened the gateway for all the Espada to have a second stage release. But unfortunately, his was the only one we saw. So it's kind of like, they all have extra potential. But then we saw Ichigo's like super devil hollow form, where he just like turns into demon of destruction, and then like it disappeared after that. It was like, no more of that. It's like, oh, okay. He had this super insane form where he could just like slaughter Ukiura in his second form. And we never saw it again, sort of thing, you know? I don't know. Maybe they cover it in this arc. Maybe that's how this is all ends. Ichigo learns how to tap into the power of that form. Cool. This whole thing is going to become which mustache man will win. I forget what that form of Ichigo's was called. See, it only appeared like once, so it was just... It wasn't Avasto Lorde, was it? Avasto Lorde just like the big guys? Like thousands of holos in one? That's probably not the name. It's probably something else. But we all know what we're talking about. Favorite arc of Bleach? Oh man, like I said last time, the Soul Society arc was my favorite. By far. That's what got me hooked on Bleach. When Rukia got kidnapped. From there all the way to the end of the Soul Society arc, I was just hooked. And then after that, I watched the Bount arc, and I had to take a break. And then I discovered painfully what filler was. I was just like, oh god, no. That form did show up again in one of the movies. Yeah, I didn't end up watching the movies. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie. Too much filler really just killed it for me. It didn't have a name, but it was a Vasta Lorde form. Okay, close enough. Cool. At least we're in the right ballpark. Well, this should be like it's nice to have new episodes of an anime that you enjoy. I really like it. But the pain is having to wait for them all to come out. But I learned my lesson when things like Dragon Ball Super were coming out. I didn't watch it when it was current. And I was like, I don't have time. I'll wait for it when it comes out. And then next thing I know, years had passed and I hadn't watched it. So it was like, well, if you don't watch it, you're probably going to not end up watching it. Someone's going to end up spoiling it. So you might as well watch it. Kuba said there will be anime-only fights in this anime. So something new for everyone. As long as it's good. As long as they don't take a tangent and then just do a full filler arc for the sake of it, I'm good. Give people who think the Bount arc is the best arc in Bleach. What is your comment? For people that think the Bount arc is the best arc in Bleach, what's my comment? What? 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 Are we talking about the same arc? Did we watch the same thing? Who's my favorite girl? See, I'm doing a quick mental scan of all the girls. We had Orihime, then we had Rukia, then we had that crazy girl that shot everyone out of a cannon. Then we had Yoruichi. Then Soy Phone, Yoruichi's student. Then we had... I'm trying to do like a quick mental thing from one to the other. My God, I'm trying to go back into my memory from like a decade ago. Jesus Christ. It's so hard to go back in time like that. My brain's trying to scan. Were there anyone after that? It was kind of dry after that for a while. Then you had that short blonde girl that trained under Urahara. They kept beating the shit out of Ichigo. Then you had Neliel, the little Arrancar. Then you had... See, there's not actually that many female characters, are there? Then you've got what's her name? Yoruichi? Yuichiro? Kenpachi's lieutenant? Yuichiro? The little pink-haired girl. You've got her. Then you've got... You don't actually have that many female characters. There's not that many, now that you think about it. I like Orihime, but wish she was more present in the story. Man, I'm just thinking really quickly. In Soul Society arc, did she even have her abilities at that point? I think she did. I think she did a lot of healing at that part. And then after that, I think she just got kidnapped. She got kidnapped. And then she was freaking kidnapped for the entire Arrancar arc. So she was just out of the story for most of the time. My favorite girl is Lisa from the Vizord. I can't even put a face to the name, to be honest. How about Orahime's stalker or Ichigo's childhood friend? Are we talking about the brown-haired girl that does martial arts? That's all that I can remember. He gave a lot of female characters. I don't know. I can't remember all of them. It's been way too long. If I had like a sort of lineup of all the characters and I got to see who they were, my memory would probably flash. But now that I'm trying to remember something from years ago, it's really hard. It's really hard. Also, the girl from the last episode who can turn into an adult that crashed into Ichigo. That was Nell. Halle Bell and the Five Arrancar, you saw this episode in the last one. But she was only there at the late stage of the Arrancar arc. So you only saw them like a little bit. Yeah. And... yeah. Meh. My God. I can't believe that was like a decade ago. Jesus. That was such a long time ago. I wonder if any of the original animators that worked on OG Bleach are working right now. That'd be crazy. I mean, they would have been in the industry for a while. They would have all ranked up in their positions. They would have gone from just being a simple animator to like a senior or a managerial or executive or something like that. I just want to know what your current opinions on characters are. Yeah, well, I've had all those little discussions in the last 3 episodes, so that's pretty much what my thoughts are before everything. But that's pretty much the extent to what I remember. That's pretty much it. I think I've sort of like pulled up everything so far, and then I'll remember tidbits as we're watching. Like in this episode, I remembered about Uryu's grandfather and how he had to go on the waterfall and shoot, the Quincy bow for like 40 days or something, or like 30 hours. Or he had to do something ridiculous without stopping in order for it to activate, and he sort of did it, and then he took the glove off when he was fighting Mayuri and all that sort of stuff. So like I remember those things as we're going forward. But good luck getting me to dig up stuff. I'm not going to remember 300 episodes of anime. Good luck with that. You're in the manga and you'll share if anything's original? Sure. Just make sure you do it afterwards. Let's enjoy it first. Let's enjoy it first. But I think it's going to be absolutely ridiculous with the power scaling. I think they've demonstrated that power scaling has just been thrown out of the window. Because up until this point, it's sort of been like, somewhat, even matchups. And then these guys just come in and like, you're all freaking dead. Like, bam. You're all dead. It's like, yeah. The power scaling in this is a little different. Kuma has a problem with power scaling. What scaling? We'll see how it goes. But the fact that Ichigo's like already struggling, it's sort of like, yeah, they're gonna have to unlock a new ability for him to do something. Would an Espada fight no-name characters, they would die too. This is true. Except these guys that got killed had their name on the screen for about 3 seconds before they died. So they are no longer no-name characters. They're just characters whose names no one will remember. They had to replace a lot of people after the previous episodes. Wait, now that I think about it, not that many people freaking died. In the overall grand scheme of the anime, not many people died. There were very few casualties in the grand scheme of things, like named characters. It was mostly unnamed people that died. So, like, you've even got that captain that every time he fights, he's putting his health in jeopardy because he shouldn't be fighting. And in the Soul Society arc, he was fighting Yamamoto. And then in the Arrancar arc, he was also fighting another Espada. And he's still kicking. And he shouldn't even be fighting. So it's, Thoughts on Ichigo's friends in Urahara? I've already shared what I thought about all of them. I'll be discussing little tidbits while we're watching the episodes. There's no use trying to pull memories and having discussions. It's a lot better when it's organic. Like Orihime munching on the carbs last episode. She's a freaking carb monster. Jesus. You see her eating that melon bread, she's like, this is heaven.
Hey, did I hand you a shrinking potion by accident? I could have sworn that was the gender swapping one.
Don't be hating. She's fun size, that's all. She doesn't even have to get on her knees to blow.
You want to add anything to that conversation?
Nope, I'm good. In fact, I think your new size makes you an even more formidable and stealthy ninja.